Ladies and gentlemen, the months and months and months of waiting are finally over, and we've been gifted this beautiful beast of a game. But the question remains, is it good? Now, I always love to start with the short answer. Is it good? Yes. This game is great, but there are a couple flaws. Great doesn't mean perfect. Every game is going to have its few little nicks, so if you're just here for the short answer, yes, it's good. Definitely purchase it. It is worth $60, and I believe I would probably pay up to $100, which I probably will either way for the season pass. This game is beautiful. So now let's get into some of the complaints I have, but also some of the pluses. The game does seem a little bit bare on content. There is a whole lot of weapons to choose from and a whole lot of cards to pick, which for those of you who may not know are kind of like the perk system in this game. And the real flaw though, where I feel like most of it is missing, is that it feels like it's got a little bit of filler as well as a lack of content. The filler comes in terms of missions, like what you were just seeing here. They really all just double as training, and one is a survival mode, which we've seen plenty of times before. The other thing is a kind of collectibles thing where all it does is it has sort of a set up with soldiers or vehicles in their environments. And if you click on it, you get to look at it, which is nothing special at all, in my opinion. I think maybe they might try to do something to give purpose to it, but for now, it really just seems like it's taking up memory that it doesn't need to be taking up in the first place. Instead, I feel like there would be a lot more gained if they sort of did what they were doing with their promotional images, their teasers on social media, where they would release a small piece of a big high definition picture, and then once all those pictures were collected, fans could push them together and get their high resolution image, an ultra high resolution image, to be honest, because each image in itself was already high resolution. Anyway, what I'm suggesting is not to give us a little piece of a picture, but what they were showing there is the detail put into all these character models. So instead of giving us kind of almost an over the shoulder look at what we're unlocking, why not let us almost pan and zoom more freely so we can just move around in a 3D space and look at them in extreme detail and zoom in up close and really be able to admire this effort that's being put in it. Right now, we just see a table and we can get a little bit of a closer look at a model that we're already seeing in almost the exact same amount of quality just from playing the game in third person mode. Another problem that's actually unfortunately returning from the beta is the flight controls. Apparently they're a lot worse on PC. I'm playing on an Xbox, but even on a controller, it just doesn't feel right. The vehicles, when I say vehicles, I'm talking about air vehicles, don't feel like they have any weight to them. They turn on a dime and they're just really awkward to control. They're so smooth. It feels almost like you're taking two magnets and facing equal poles against each other, and they're just resisting each other. If you push up, your vehicle is going to shoot straight up so fast, it just does not feel like it has weight. And I'm no physics major, and I'm no, pilot, but I feel like playing Battlefield 4 versus Battlefront, I feel like there's so much more weight and realism to the way a jet controls versus here these ships that we have in Battlefront. And of course, it's a different universe, it's a different galaxy far, far away a long time ago. Physics might act differently. But personally, I feel like it's okay to expect just a certain feel to flight. Now, this is probably going to be something that's a little bit difficult to change after the fact, but I think we can see something happen there to just smooth everything out. Whether it's different turn radiuses on the ships or lower sensitivity when piloting, that's just something I'd really like to see changed. Next, I'd like to do a plus. This game runs so smoothly. It runs at 60 frames per second across all platforms. I'm not sure if PC can actually raise that cap, but it runs at least 60 FPS. And I'm only speaking about Xbox One because that's all I've played so far. It honestly feels more smooth than other 60 FPS games. I don't know whether it has a more solid 60 frames per second, if it has a little bit higher than 60 frames per second. I have no clue, but I don't think I've ever played a game that just feels more smooth and responsive. It also needs to be mentioned that this game just sounds amazing. I'm sure it's a mix of resampling sounds from movies and also a matter of remastering them, and I'm sure there's also plenty of sounds that have been pulled out of archives that we may have never even heard before. But this game is just such a cinematic experience. It is so immersive. Every second you are in game, you hear Star Wars all around you, and there's nothing that breaks that immersion. Even sounds that are new, that we haven't heard before, things like the squad shield or the smart rocket, they sound like they are directly from the Star Wars universe. And I think that definitely shows that in DICE's earliest teasers for Star Wars, they said that they were working very closely with LucasArts to make this a genuine experience and that they were taking a lot of care to really make this a raw Star Wars game. And the time and effort and money put into it really paid off in the end. This is one of the best sounding games that I have played on Xbox One. It's one of the best sounding and best looking games I've played ever. This is officially the game that is going to be bringing Xbox One into the next gen consoles. So far, everything, although there have been some standouts, everything has been kind of similar looking, and there haven't been really any diamonds in the rough. But today we have one. So now I want to take a quick second, a rare second, to shut up and let you guys just get an earful of this game for anyone who hasn't already played it, and then we're going to move on to the next point.
Our forces are capturing a control point.
Watch out for enemy units.
We have the rebels pinned back, and they are running out of time.
Now my final point goes without saying, it doesn't need to be mentioned at all. The graphics are absolutely amazing. So you've been seeing those the entire video, and there's no point in me showing you anything else. So these videos, I don't want to make them too long, so I'll end it here. Again, I'll repeat myself from before. Definitely, I would recommend this game. It's beautiful. The only downside is I don't think it'll hold up too much. I think it'll get a little bit boring at one point, but I think the DLC will be able to revive that. Plus, just its base fun factor. But for some people, the kind of weird content limits and what it has now is going to be a little bit of a drag. But I would definitely recommend it, and I will definitely be enjoying it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you reach a decision, and I will be talking to you soon. Peace.